and let's see what's happening. Okay. So let me go here. Uh, Good evening, everybody. Um, uh, Let me also share my screen. I forgot about it. Okay, and I'm going to open my, yes. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Right.
Okay, and one more point, let me make it enable waiting room. So that's perfect. So people will have an opportunity to join correctly. So, okay. Okay, I hope everything now is okay. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Make Scorecards Great Again workshop. I'm excited to have you all here today as we dive into the world of KPI scorecards. Thank you for joining us. And in this workshop, you will learn how to enrich your dashboards with comprehensive KPI scorecards and make them flexible for customization and self-service analytics. Our goal is to empower you with the knowledge and tools to create impactful and dynamic scorecards. Let me introduce our estimate speaker for today's session, Alex Kolokolov. Alex Kolokolov is a renowned expert in data analytics and visualization, and I hope in next minutes he will have an opportunity to introduce himself in the necessary way. And I kindly ask you join me in welcoming Alex Kolokolov. And I'm also excited to have a lineup of incredible speakers for our future sessions. Here are some of the upcoming speakers who will be joining us in next weeks. I'm going to have Andrei Haidarov from Georgia, who is going to talk about Power Platform products. Later, we'll have Hamid Sadiqpour Saleh at the end of August, who is going to talk about Azure. And in September, I will have Kadesh Brian from USA, who is going to talk about data science. And a little bit about meetup rules. Before we proceed, let's go over a few meetup rules. Feel free to reach out with any questions or feedback after the session. And this session will be recorded and shared for those who couldn't attend live. And we'll have also a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. So you can type your question. You can type your question, or in the chat if you are watching this meetup via YouTube, or if you are joined to the Zoom, you can type your question here. So a little bit about our session schedule. The first 5 minutes is for introduction that I'm doing right now. Then I will deliver the floor to Alex Kolokolov, who will demonstrate his presentation. And at the end of this presentation, we'll have Q&A session. So let's keep our session engaging and informative. So stay tuned for each segment. Okay, last but not least, let's stay connected also. You can reach me using my email address that you see on the screen, or you can call me for any inquiries or further discussions. And also, if you are interested in delivering your session, or if you want to be speaker for my upcoming meetup, so you can also write me via email, and I will contact with you. Now, I would like to deliver the floor to our distinguished speaker. Alex, stage is yours. You can start sharing. I'm just going to stop sharing here, and you can start sharing your screen and go on. Good luck.
Thank you, Ilgar. Hello, everyone. Warm greetings from the East Coast, Ocean City, Maryland. And it's almost morning time for me, noontime. And I'm glad to speak to you. And today I'm going to share my experience with KPI cards and how to make them comprehensive, beautiful, And let's start. So it's our American joke, make everything great again, like Trump says. And so please let's check our connection. Write in the chat what's your favorite visual for Power BI or another data visualization platform. What's your favorite visual? And according to my experience, as you may guess, my favorite visual is KPI card. And today I will talk about these rectangles with several values, and really it's an entire space how to really make it valuable and comprehensive. A few words about me. I started about 15 years ago as a data analyst. Then I worked as project lead, team lead, and later I founded my own company and provided data analytics and data warehousing services. Then I trained my clients and my students not only how to develop, but how to define right KPIs, how to design dashboards, and finally develop it mostly with Microsoft Power BI. But I started even before Power BI with Microsoft reporting services, SharePoint, Click, Tableau, and finally transferred best practices to Power BI platform. And I pretend to be the first person who will win Information is Beautiful award with Power BI dashboard, because only Tableau guys won this award before. So I have published 2 books, and also I founded Data Visualization Award, Make Your Data Speak. Maybe you already heard about this event. It's annual event when we select the best dashboard and best data storytelling projects. There are my recent books, Make Your Data Speak, and my upcoming book, Data Visualization with Microsoft Power BI. It will be released in September, but if you have O'Reilly account, you already can get early access to this book. It's available online for O'Reilly members. And my passion is data visualization and dashboard design and development. And in my projects, I'm still trying to bring a piece of art into boring, sometimes data analytics, and create innovative visuals, and sometimes we are inventing new types of visualization. But for each dashboard, as you may see, we have cards on top, such as rectangles with total values, with some indicators, with some additional information, and it's I say the most important part of any dashboard, because it affects the first impression, and comprehensive KPI cards, very, very important for business users, for stakeholders. And sometimes we may get a dashboard containing cards only without any charts, because the most valuable information, like executive summary, we can see this value, we can see some indicators. And today I'm gonna explain you some problems that we face tailoring KPI cards. I will review default cards from Microsoft Power BI visual set. Then we will go to the app source gallery, and I will make review of advanced cards and make technical session, show you how to customize multi KPI card, that visual that I have published for app source gallery. And finally, we will come through checklist how to make clear KPI card using any visual or combine from several visuals. So what's the problem? Usually business users want to see everything at once, target, actual value, previous month, previous quarter, market benchmark, whatever, deviation, percentage, absolute, and finally we have this dashboard screen containing all these cards, and we don't even have space for any charts. And what might be, what seems as a solution, that we start to combine some cards, some indicators logically, assemble into such blocks. But for end user, it's okay. It might be solution for end user, but for developer, we get a lot of problems because we don't have such a ready-made visual, and to arrange all the elements we need to use it separate elements, all these additional measures, all these data labels, titles, and the first problem, especially for technical professionals who don't have designer background, that you need to arrange, to align all these elements manually. And it's a nightmare when you need to edit it for 3, 4, 5 times and spend finally hours and hours and even days. And second problem, that this single element works as a single query. And in this case, we see you will start 4 queries for a single card. But for the entire dashboard, we use 4, 5, 6 cards, and let's multiply it for 4 times. We have additional 20 queries. That really slows down the report. That's a problem. And so when I realized these problems, I started my research how to find the appropriate solution. And let's start this journey. And today I will come through technical session, and you have 2 options. You may just watch, and you may work alone with me. And the first, for any case, you can download this visual for free, because now this visual has paid options. But for all the attendees, unlimited free version is available. You may download this visual. The next option, if you wanna work right now with me, you may download PBX file. I put this link into our chart, and you may download our Power BI file. That's how it looks. And I will make my demonstration, and step by step we will come through all the steps of card customization. So if you are downloading this file, so send your reactions, send plus into chat if you have downloaded and ready to start our technical session. So the first point, let's come through default cards. And I'll just start my explanation while you are launching Power BI file. And what I want, at least, to get such a simple card, which will display title, main value, and let's say indicator. So our, in other words, additional value, which displays our difference versus target. And let me show our data set. It's pretty simple. So we have data about online product sales. We have sales actual, sales target, the same expenses actual and expenses budget, and number of leads and orders by product and by date. We can view this data in this table. We have some ready-made calculations like sales versus target or month of month. In this panel, index measures conversion, ROI, sales, and we can apply slicers by month. But I want to see this total value, $506,000 sales. And let's start. I pick a measure sales actual, and Power BI suggests me a visual, a simple card. What's the problem? The first, according to data visualization best practices, I want to put the title on top, as we do for charts, as we do for entire reports. Always put title on top. But in the category options, I can't find this option. I can display it only below, and I need to add border manually, background, customize font, so it looks like a raw draft, and I need to improve it manually. Second, I want to add more data at sales versus target, and then Power BI switched it into multi-row card, and you may see that it looks even worse. Okay, I see these two values, but they're too small, and I again need to go to all the settings, enlarge this value, and I can't even convert these values into thousands, into millions, as we got used for any data labels. But here we don't have this option, and I need to calculate additional measures. And what we have now since the last year, Microsoft has successfully released a new card. It's still not everyone knows about this new visual, because by default Microsoft suggests old card. But let's switch it to a new card. That's how it looks. I'm happy to see that we have a title on top. That's great. We have borders. It's good. But I want to look at it as a single visual element with additional value, but not as two separate elements. And I may customize it. For example, it has a new option like reference labels. I can select value, and it will be displayed below. Then I need to remove it from my data placeholder. I may customize it somehow, go to value options, change font, increase our title. But I need to know about these options, and I guess none of you know about all these reference labels, callout values, and what I expect to get a clear visual, like our example, by default. And here we have several elements grouped. This is one value, another one value, rectangle on a background, text boxes, and okay, it's not so hard to build this single element, but year by year we have more and more mobile users, and if I try to apply mobile layout, I will get these separate elements again, not the single elements even like here. And so I didn't find a solution, and I have reinvented my own wheel and developed multi-target KPI card. This is this element that you may download right now. You may find it in App Source Gallery, but as I said, it has some paid options. But this link provides you unlimited version for our attendees. Let me show multi-KPI card. Multi-KPI. What's wrong? Multi-target. Yeah, that's it. Multi-target KPI card. You can, you may edit right now from gallery, and almost all the options are available here. But we already have this element in our report, and let's make it. Again, I select sales actual, sales target. By default, I get this multi-row card, and I switch it to multi-target KPI card. And by default, I have what I need, my title on top, my main value, and the ready-made calculation of this difference. What I need just to edit my labels, I will remove this automatic prefix sum of. I will shorten titles like VS target. And now we get such a comprehensive card. Let's pay attention to this calculation minus 25%. So I didn't use this measure, sales versus target. I taken this source value, target. And here we have such parameter as component type. By default, we display percentage change over a main measure. We may use measure and display this, let's show it, value 670. We may display change minus 164, or this percentage 75% of our target, or minus 25 to target. That's how it works. By default, it calculates. And if I will take another measure, for example, sales month of month, I will add this value and select any month. And what can we see? That this difference is about 75 million%, something wrong, because by default, it displays this calculation in percentage. And for this indicator, sales month of month, I should switch back to measure, and it will display correct minus 5%. That's how it works. And why I think that it's important, let's go through to this calculation presets. Usually we have these options for different cards, and it's important to provide options to our self-service users before they start any calculation. And maybe they will create more sophisticated indicator, any weighted value, but they provide these basic options without any coding, without even simple DAX. You can choose and add this calculation. That's important part. It's an important part. And next, what we usually have for cards, it's a conditional formatting. And basically, we use classic rule. If our target is achieved, so it's good, and we use positive color like green. And when our goal is underachieved, we use negative color, usually red. Of course, we should take into account the color blindness and other accessibility requirements. But my clients still prefer this clear red, green, yellow stop and go lights colors. And sometimes we may have inverted logic for expenses or other negative indicators because we have overspent our budget. That's bad. That's not good. And also, Microsoft Excel users like these icons, arrows, circles, and other icons. And especially for icons, it was so I started looking for cards containing any icons, any conditional formatting options, and let me show what we've got. By default, so I was inspired by card with states by OKViz Studio. I'm sure you know these guys are Marco Russo, Alberto Ferrari, SQL BI, OKViz, and DAX Formatter and other projects. And they were the first who contributed to App Source Gallery, and they developed card with states. Let me briefly show it. Card with states by OKViz, and it also has paid options, but we will properly change it. And in the options of data label, I will show reference. And if I will enable, by default, they have states, unmatched color, for example, I will make red, and we can customize. So they have these rules again: red for negative, green for positive, and we may select how to apply these rules. Change data color not for data label, but for example for reference label. What's more appropriate? And the same works for multi-target KPI card. Let's look. We have conditional formatting. We enable this option, and we can use default rules of conditional formatting as it works for any visual object in Power BI. But again, I prefer to provide these options in the same panel, not in a new window, and I can apply and see the result right now. And I enable conditional formatting, and here we can see green for positive, and let's select any negative. Yeah, it works. And then I can also add this. So I want to add any icons, any arrows, and for card with states, I don't have such option, and unfortunately I can display only one additional measure. And I started my research, and the first what I found, it was dynamic KPI card. It looks pretty clear. I like it. We can see this title on top for these values. Let me build it again from the scratch. Sales actual. I switch to dynamic KPI card, but I need to add some additional values: sales month of month, sales versus target, and it's done. Could you say what else we must display and this visual? Which element is necessary? Any ideas? Right.
Yes.
Thank you, Gina. And it's not clear which indicator corresponds which measure. In my developer mode, okay, I can see where is sales month of month, where is sales target, but in my options, I don't have any parameter to display. And again, I need just add additional text labels. What's gets this job more complicated to add these values. That's the bad point. So in general, it's pretty simple, looks clear by default, has two additional measures, but we don't have any titles and no presets for calculations. I need to put ready-made measures. Next, Ultimate KPI card. It has much more options. Let me show. Where will we? Let me find this example. Yeah, it's here. Ultimate KPI card. We can add even 3 indicators. So we have sales, target, month of months. We can add ROI, other indicators, and let me. And we have a lot of options, settings for all these additional values, such all the possible combinations for absolute values, percentage change, and I have a problem that I want to remove all this excessive information, and really I tried to find how to remove these millions of percentage deviations, 5 million, and 1 year ago I managed it somehow in this chart to enter options, but really there are so many parameters, NA, on, off, type of displaying, and it's too complicated. For advanced developer, it's okay, but for the self-service user, it's too complicated visual. So it has a lot of options, and if you don't pay for this visual, you will see these watermarks, and anyway, it's limited in alignment options. Even I can put title on center, and all these calculations are tricky. And let's go to these options for KPI card. As we worked here. And what I have set for versus target. I have enabled my condition formatting, and for sales month of month, again I want to enable it, and also I have such option as emoji, and that's for positive value I may disable this arrow rising up and rising down arrow. Let's select different products. We can see how it changed. And for other measure versus target, I will apply more emotional signs and I may use classic emoji like positive, smile, and negative, and or I may select more emotionally charged values like dollar eyes or really angry face. Let's look at this. And really my users like these options, and it takes such a small space, but really it adds emotional engagement into our report. And you can display not even quantitative indicator, but you may display any qualitative evaluation, what's finally good or not even strictly good or bad, or has some mood. So I recommend you to use these emojis. If this option is paid, also you can add arrows or circles using a table with a conditional formatting. It's the single cell, but it's even harder. And we paid a lot of efforts to create this object. So the next, The next important part of any KPI card is micro visuals. Usually we see spark lines below any value, and it looks like a line chart, but without any data labels, category labels, axis, just a small line showing us the trend. And it looks comprehensive. Sometimes we may arrange several charts. For example, here above the main value, I can see this progress bar, but actually this stacked bar chart displaying our progress. And again, this is not a special card. It was arranged from several values, so five elements, 3 cards, line chart, bar chart. And my favorite spark line by card with states by OKWiz, and we can customize almost any parameter. Let's go to this spark line. To enable this option, we should add any any data field. So if I remove, I see this parameter trend line axis. I add this date, and that's how it works. Unfortunately, we have similar default visual in our default set. It has name KPI, but there's an unsolved issue with this visual. As you may see, we use the same data fields, actual sales, target sales, but total value differs. And all the examples we have 500, but here we can see 17,000. How it works? At OKWiz card, for data label, we have such parameter as value, how to display value, and by default we use last data point, the same 17,000, but we have such parameter how to switch it. But for default Microsoft KPI card, we can only customize font, colors, display units, but we don't have option to switch from last data point to total value, and it's awful. Because usually users want to see this total value. And the most comprehensive, the richest visual with the richest card with micro visuals is Zebra BI, and they provide waterfall charts, lollipop charts, line charts, area charts, and also they have all the necessary elements, titles on top, this deviation arrow. It looks great, ready-made. It meets IBCS standard. And if I compress this visual, it will automatically remove all the data labels. Let's do it. Yeah. Now it looks really like bullet chart or spark line, and really it's very smart and adapts all the proportions according to the space that we provide. And again, Zebra BI charts are paid also, and I was inspired by this option. It looks like progress bar, and for my visual I decided to add not another spark line, but add bullet chart. let's go to our example, the second tab, default cards. And I will enable bullet chart option. That's how it looks. But I need to specify which field I will use as a target, because I have several values: sales previous months, target, and I will place sales target into bullet target placeholder. And let's compare. Yeah, that's how it works. And if when we don't achieve our goal, it looks like a progress bar. And this white space minus 10%. When we access our goal, we have this vertical line, this marker, which displays how we perform. And for bullet chart, we have options to customize almost everything. Bullet shape, all the proportions of percentage height, rounded edges, colors, weight, almost everything. And again, my approach is to provide to suggest options before all these customizations, and we have templates. I can select color base, color theme, for example, winter and light, and we have such light blue colors, or I can switch to autumn and bold, and even I prefer winter bold. It looks more conservative, but still many companies prefer such style. Or I can let's select forest and smooth, light smoothie colors for modern companies. And you can start from this color theme and customize any parameter. That's a good option for end users. So that's Zebra BI styles. That's how it works. And for multi KPI card, so that's I consider that's good pros and the strengths that we have bullet charts, style templates, and it contains best practices by default, and all the good proportions for data labels, for titles, and we can set all the by parameters, not just moving elements pixel by pixels. And now we have some paid features like customization of bullet charts for emojis. We still don't have any sparkline, but maybe the next release we will add this item. And the last point, small multiplies, like we may do for many visuals in Power BI, or originally this idea was from Tableau. How it works. I'll show it how we get this set of cards. Originally, I had only a single card, and I can add any category to the category placeholder and get this bunch of cards and customize grid. For example, I may decide to put 2 cards per row and make it like a vertical view, or even change these proportions, change space between cards, or if I will decide to make it to add more indicators, for example, sales month of months or ROI, I see that these elements start to overlap all the data labels, and I can change my grid and make it horizontal. So for additional measures for my indicators, I can switch layout type from vertical to horizontal. you can see that there's not enough space to display all the elements, but I will change the proportion between main measure percentage which, and I will provide about 35% for this value. And I can also display main measure above the main label, and I have more space for this visual. And finally, I just need to change my value format for additional values. Sales month of month, it's okay, and ROI I will display exact measure with decimal places, and for alignment I will display it horizontally by center. And now it's done. Or for main measure name I will align it by left side. So finally, all the customization, all the alignments done by parameters, and you don't need to have designer skills to make it clear. So let me summarize. What's important for any KPI card? The first, you should provide the background, or this sometimes border, or sometimes rectangle with light color filling to unite all this element on this like canvas. And we should put title on top, usually align on center. We provide about half of this space for main measure, and we spread the accent on this value, make it larger. We provide indicator. Usually we have more than one indicator to have such an objective view, not only versus target, previous month, benchmark, or any important context. So several indicators. We add micro visual below, bullet chart, spark line, some kind of even waterfall chart, but without data labels, just showing a trend. And we add conditional formatting, what's good, what's bad, and we spice our visual with some graphics, micro visuals, icons, arrows, or emojis. That's finally how the clear KPI card looks. And you may use a multi-target KPI card or assemble this visual using even simple card, simple bar chart, or single cell table with conditional formatting. And if you like this visual, you may rate it in App Source Gallery. I will appreciate it. And going this, it requires Microsoft account, but I'm sure you have your Microsoft community account, and I rank our visual. I will be grateful. That's all for today. I'm running a bit out of time.
Hey.
And now I'm reading questions in the chat.
Actually, sorry, Alex, I got 2 questions from YouTube, and so be so kind as to answer. Thank you.
Yes, I'm reading these questions. So first, what are the benefits of incorporating interactive elements like slicers and filters into a KPI scorecard? So my personal opinion, that you shouldn't incorporate slicers specially for scorecard. Usually slicers or cross filtration options works for the entire report, for all the elements on this report, not for single card. If I understand your question correctly. In other words, don't make it overcomplicated. yes, we may add micro visuals, indicators, but if you don't try to make micro dashboard from a KPI card. It's remember that it's a part of a dashboard, and slicers usually have a special filter panel, pop-up windows, and others. So not make it overcomplicated. Next, how can you integrate real-time data into your KPI scorecard to ensure it's always up to date? So for me, it seems like rhetorical question. How can I integrate? So if you trust your data and your time schedule of your data update, you'll be sure and you will trust that it's always up to date. So it's not about method of visual representation of this data. So really, I can say something specific
Okay.
on this
One more
question.
question from Aurora. Yeah.
Yeah. My problem with the micro visual is that user doesn't know what's the time frame for that trended. Is the typical period considered to show monthly data trends for 12 months? Yeah. Let me go back to some examples. And that's a good question about trust. For example, here by default we don't display data labels, category labels for charts, for micro charts, for spark lines. And again, by default we display the current year. So it's monthly trend, but maybe you should display it, for example, here. Again, it's not obvious. It's not clear that it's monthly data, but you may add a label that it's monthly, or somewhere here add this label. And if these parameters don't change, it's always monthly, I think that your users will get used to it. Or sometimes we have such switch. We can see yearly, quarterly, monthly, or even daily. And this time scale will also change. I'm going.
Yeah. And one more comment that has been done by Aura. I like to show somewhere the last refresh date.
Yeah, that's a good approach.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yes.
And maybe it's an answer to the previous question, how to make sure that our indicators are up to date. And we display this update. Let me find some examples. Maybe we have this. No, we usually display period, but we can see it in the upper right corner, update date in this dashboard. Yes, you may use this option. That's useful, and it's some kind of micro text and data representation.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for useful, valuable presentation, for your demonstration. And by the way, is there anything to share with our attendees? Actually, you have shared the link, and accept that link, that those materials. Are there anything to share with our members, or that's all?
You may share all the materials from my workshop.
Okay, so and also would be great to write the link via which we could order if someone wants to get your books, would be great to write your just say the link that could help us to order or to buy your books. And once again, I would like to thank you for your valuable demonstration, valuable presentation. So, by the way, you are organizing events regarding something like competition, right? And the next one is going to happen next year. So, if someone is interested in this competition, so you can get by contacting with Alex the necessary information about this event. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much for your time. See you in
Thank
next
you, Ilgar,
events.
for the invitation. Thank you for visiting, joining us. Have a nice evening. Have a nice day.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Take care.